find a wallet? Wait, did they have money?
there?
They had money. I didn't. Anyone found a wallet? What kind of
Black wallet.
Alnak, shachor.
See anything on your feet or something?
We're in the house. While we're passing out the sheets, Birshut Rosh Yeshiva, Birshut Rav Aviner, Birshut Avi Mori, and the Kala Kadosh. Just very briefly, truthfully, the connections and the comparisons between Talmud Yerushalmi and Bavli is a long shiur. And I just want to give a kind of like an FAQ, a frequently asked question, or answers actually, to some of these that people have asked me over the last few weeks, as to the differences between the two. They pretty much grow at the same time, although Bavli is a little bit later. And even though it's called Talmud Yerushalmi, it was more learned and promulgated in the northern part of the country. The language is very different. I try to liken it between someone from the deep south in the United States talking to someone from Liverpool. And they're both speaking English, but it's different English. And sometimes they don't even understand each other. Very often, when you're growing up learning Gemara in Bavli, you have what's called, the teachers would have what's called Shas Milim. Shas Milim are the words, the basic words you need to know for Shas, to understand. Dilma, Hachikatani, Tashma, Kamashmalan. They don't exist in the Yerushalmi in the same way. They have a totally different lexicon, and it's like, in a sense, starting from scratch. I felt like going back, I was in Kita Hey when I started to learn the Yerushalmi. And I mentioned earlier, for those who came late, I was inspired by it to learn Yerushalmi after I kenes Yerushalmi here in the Yeshiva in Birkat Moshe. One of the major differences between the two Talmuds is that in the Bavli, for those of you who learn Bavli, you know that it might mention a particular Amora, a particular Rav of the time after the Mishnah. And then, because they mention him, they start to mention somebody he met one day at the Makolet, and then they talk about some question they had in the market, and then because they talk about that question, there's another pasuk, we'll talk about that. And finally, after about 3 dapim, it says, Mai Havi Allah. What happened to the original discussion? So it goes back to talk about that. Yerushalmi is very linear. A, B, C, D. Very different. Much less in the way of agadita, of storytelling, so to speak. As a matter of fact, one of the characteristic differences between the two is, we know when you open Bavli, it says Matnitin or Mishnah. When you open Yerushalmi, it says Halacha. It's a much more halachically based, geared towards Halacha in Yerushalmi. There are certain Masechtot that are not found in Yerushalmi, and certain ones that are not found in Bavli. Much to my chagrin, it deals greatly with Zra'im, Maaseh and Peah and Bikurim and all this. It was very difficult. I'm glad I started with Zra'im, because I don't know if I would be able to finish with it. It's a monumental task, unfortunately, for not having the background. But there was just one question I wanted to answer that someone asked me, like, what happens, like, why is it that we tend to learn Yerushalmi? By the way, you can identify any Beit Midrash or Shul. You can identify where the Yerushalmi is. All you need to go is like this. You blow about 4 pounds of dust off a bunch of books. Unfortunately. Except, by the way, in Yeshivat Birkat Moshe. It's not there. But most places it's unfortunate. But I just want to quote Rav Hai Gaon. Katav Rav Hai Gaon. Kol ma shematzinu b'Talmud Eretz Yisrael. The Yerushalmi is also known as Talmud Eretz Yisrael. Ve'en cholek alav b'Talmudenu. If you find something that's stated in the Yerushalmi, and it is not in the Bavli, Talmudenu means our Talmud, i.e. the Bavli, or shenoten ta'am yafeh lidvarav, or it gives an insight and a better understanding of what appears in the Bavli, nechaznu v'nismoch alav. We take hold of it, and we use that statement. Delo garam meperush harishonim. He says it's no different than, it's not really what he says, but it's no different than one of the Rishonim making a comment on the Bavli. But he says if we have a machloket Yerushalmi and Bavli, which is his opinion, we take that which it says in the Bavli, and we go with that as opposed to Yerushalmi. That's not across the board agreed with everybody. And Derech Agav, some of the Agadata that we're very famously familiar with, such as when Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah says, "Harei ani ben shivim shana," the story in Bavli and Yerushalmi are radically different. So the different approaches, not only in what it says in the halachot and in the promulgation of halacha, but also in some of the versions of the various Agadata. So, you have in front of you a sheet. I forgot to tell you, bring your reading glasses and magnifying glasses, sorry. A sheet. I'm going to start actually where I made the bracket. It's just a couple words before that where it says Tarten Zar'in B'tziporin. Do y'all see that? I'm just going to read the last few lines, and then I'll say the Hadran. The purpose of the Hadran is the idea of a couple of reasons, but the one basic is the idea we're to come back to, and we say we're going to return to learn this again. Azrat Hashem. Tartin Zarim B'tziporin, there were two families who lived in Tzipori. Balovaitia upaganya havu alin ushalin l'bshlame d'siye b'chol yom. So what happened was that these two different families would go every day to the Nasi to see how the family was. They would ask the Shlom HaNasi. V'havum belavotaya alin kadmain v'nafke kadmai. The Belavotai family would go in first, and they would leave first, and then the other family would come and check on him. Azlun paganya v'zachun l'raita. So in the meantime, the Paganya family became great Talmidei Chachamim, and now they wanted zechut kedima. They wanted to have the right to be first to go in to speak to the Nasi every day. Atun ba'an me'ol kadmai. They wanted to go in first. Yishtalt l'Rab Shimon ben Levi. So they went and asked a halachic question to Rab Shimon ben Levi. What should we do? Reish Lakish ben Lakish. Shala Rab Shimon ben Lakish ben Rabbi Yochanan. So he said, I'm going to ask Rabbi Yochanan. Al Rabbi Yochanan udrasha bebeit midrasha de Rabbi Banaya. So he went ahead, and then in the Beit Midrash of Rabbi Banaya, he made the following statement: Afilu mamzer talmid chacham v'kohen gadol am haaretz. If you had a choice to honor a mamzer who was a talmid chacham or a kohen gadol who was an am haaretz, mamzer talmid chacham kodem lekohen gadol am haaretz. And he says that the mamzer kohen talmid chacham comes first because the chashivut of Torah takes primacy, takes preference. Sovereign Meimar, they said, you know what, maybe that's not in every case. So they thought that maybe that applies only in three cases. Lipadot, when you have a choice between, when you have a captive and you have to try to release somebody, when you have the choice between the two persons, you choose the one who has the Torah. L'hachayot, to save someone's life, you choose the person with the greater Torah, even if he's a mamzer versus a kohen gadol amaretz. And liksut, also for clothing. That's what they thought. The yeshiva, no. But when it came to giving priority for seating, for being a leader, for entering, for example, into the house of the Nasi, maybe that shouldn't make the difference. Amar Rabbi Ibon af yeshiva. He says, no, even for yeshiva. Umay ta'ama. What's the reason that they said that even a kohen gadol, who's an amaretz, takes back seat to mamzer who's a talmid chacham, even when it comes to right of honor and respect? It quotes a pasuk in Mishlei, Yikarahi mipninim, meaning that Torah is even greater, or as more beautiful or precious than pearls. Uvafilu mizeh, shu nichnas lifnai v'lifnim. It's a play on words that the word pninim uses for lifnai v'lifnim. That even the one who goes lifnai v'lifnim, means to the inner sanctum, into the Kodesh Kadashim, if he happens to be an Amaretz, that the Yakara, the Torah, the beauty of Torah, precedes that individual and comes ahead.